Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Monday Kick in the Pants. Angela Fallon here, bringing you in 10 minutes or less a gentle push each week to help you level up in your life, fill you with a dose of Monday motivation, and provide tips to accelerate your success. So, last week we wrapped up my 5 favorite travel tips. And the next 5 weeks, I really want to talk to you guys about how you can save on travel. I feel like this is like a perfect timing for this because spring break's coming up. Our spring break is actually in a week. Some others are having it this week or 2 weeks from now. And let's be honest, summer is right around the corner. So if you want to start planning like a big summer trip, maybe 2 weeks in Europe, maybe a weekend at the beach, whatever, I have 5 weeks of tips for you all on how to save money when on travel. Okay. So I hope that sounds exciting for you all. Today, I really wanted to talk to you all about some basic things like upfront, like in general, and then we'll go into more detailed items over the next 4 weeks after this. So today I have 3 tips for you from, like I said, overarching in general, what to do to save money on travel. And the first is to set a budget. It doesn't really take long to set a budget, and it's easy to go do some online research. There's some rules of thumb about what you should and shouldn't, plan on. But most places I've been around the world, there's exceptions, obviously, that it's about $100 a person per day for food alone. So let's just say there are 5 of us in our family. That's what we have, the 2 of us plus our 3 boys. And it's about $400 to $500 a day in food because you're going out to eat quite a bit. Now you can reduce that number quite a bit if rent a apartment or a VRBO or Vrbo. I've said VRBO forever, and then I've been watching those commercials lately, and it says Vrbo, and I'm like, it's a word. I've always thought it was an acronym. Maybe it's both. I don't know. So, anyways, it's a good rule of thumb to plan on about $100 a day per person for food alone. That number has worked for us pretty well because there's times where we'll even like kind of snack throughout the day, and then we'll go out for dinner and we go all out. My husband and I may share a bottle of wine. We may have, adult meals for all of us, even though, we have 2 teenagers and then the 10-year-old. Sometimes the 10-year-old eats more than the others. It just depends. And then everybody wants a dessert, and then drinks add up. And it's amazing how those bills turn into like $200. So dinner alone is over $40 a person. So think about that from a budget perspective. And then the different things that you're planning to do for your itinerary, that's the great time to start thinking about what they are and put that in your budget. Plan on it so you don't get there and think this is going to be a $3,000 trip and it turns into a $7,000 trip because all of the excursions you wanted to do are $100 a person or $200 a person, and it just adds up really fast. So the second recommendation I have for you, and this is not rocket science, stick to your budget. Stick to it. And whenever you go out for dinner and in a couple days you realize that you weren't spending $100 per person per day on food, great. You've saved some cash. You can go buy souvenirs if you want to buy souvenirs. You can go on a more expensive excursion. Maybe you can pick up a new play, or a musical, an extra musical while you're in New York City or whatever, right? Maybe you spend multiple days in a row on the beach and all you're doing is drinking orange juice or light beer or water and sandwiches, and you saved a bunch of money, and then you can go out on a catamaran the last day, So have a budget and then stick to it, and you won't come home feeling almost regretful because of all of the money you spent, and it was way more expensive than you thought it was. So it's really nice walking in to a trip on travel and knowing what it's going to cost, and then coming home and realizing that it was way more expensive than you thought it was, especially if it's something like 2 or 3x what you were expecting. So, and that kind of burns a little bit, right? So it's better to walk in knowing what it's going to be, and it's not upsetting at the end. You know how people say I need a vacation from my vacation? Part of that is the blowing the budget part. Some people go on vacation and don't even plan a budget, and good on you if you have that ability to do that. I like knowing what we think it's going to cost us. So we're ready. I like being ready. If you don't know that already, I like the organization. I like, again, still recovering control freak, but I like knowing what is coming and then what I'm planning to spend. And I always like a little surprise whenever we save some money and get to do even more than what we did plan. All right, so my last tip for you all today is track your expenses. I'm not saying you got to keep a spreadsheet while you're there, but if you have even just like a simple like bullets list, or even Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, however many days you're gone, do a note in your Notes app. I think Notes app is on Android too, but you can definitely use it on an iPhone. But keep in your Notes app just kind of a high level. What are we spending? Or you can go look at your bank account at the end of the day and put in the daily amount for Monday or Sunday or whatever it is, and just kind of keep a running tab. Again, that knowing of what's going on, the a recognition and measurement is going to help you maintain your budget. And that doesn't mean you have to do it to the dollar or to the penny, but close enough, right? It's still a trip, whether it's vacation or business travel or whatever. It's still good to know what it is, and you don't have to go down to the nitty gritty. Okay, so those are the three things I have for you today. Set a budget. You can do a very rudimentary one. Like I said, rule of thumb, $100 a day per person just for food. Add in your excursions, add in your hotel, travel, however you travel to get there, whether it's, train or plane or both, taxis, whatnot, Ubers. Think about those things and then just do a high level budget. So you kind of have a rough estimate of what you think it's going to be, and then stick to it. Plan on what you're going to do and then try to get as close to it as possible. And the only way you're going to know what you spent is if you track it. So that's the last thing I have for you all. All right. So I would love to hear below. I would love a comment from you all, whatever, wherever you're tuning in from, whether it's LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook. I would love to hear from you all, which one of these things you already do and where you may need help. If you need help, drop it below. I would love to help you out with it. I may have some additional tips that are going to help you over the next 4 weeks as well. And just so y'all know, so we haven't had a training course in our closed group in Facebook, our Clarity Mastermind community. And the next event is probably going to be at the end of this month. So I believe we have it planned for the very last week of this month, the week of the 27th. And I'll tell you guys more about that coming up soon. The other thing I wanted to let you all know that I am announcing in that group today that we are going to start doing consult calls. So if people need help with a few things, whether it's organization, some travel tips, getting clarity on your priorities, I'm offering up 20-minute calls with me with the folks that are in that group. So if you want to grab that group, let me know. We can send you the link, or we'll drop it below wherever this is posted. And I would love for you all to join us. So it's just an encouraging group that help lift each other up. It's a lot of professional women in there. So we would love to have you. But if that's something that's of interest to you, you can just drop clarity below and we'll get you in the group. Okay. So that's what I have for you all this week. We're here under 10 minutes. Woo-hoo. And I just want to remind you all that if you're feeling overwhelmed or you feel like you're behind in whatever you're doing, I just want to remind you that you're in the right place and it's the right time. Okay. Y'all get out there and have a